Centuries ago, the Vikings ruled these lands. They sailed across the world, leaving behind treasures, myths, and secrets. But one secret was never meant to be found. They say there was a map that could change history. And now, Leo have a piece of it. But Leo is not the only one searching for it. Others are watching, others are waiting, and, in Norway, the real hunt begins.
Leo Visanen stood at the edge of the ship, watching as the Norwegian coastline appeared through the mist. Towering mountains, deep fjords, and the endless sea stretched before him. He had made it to Norway, but he wasn't alone. The keepers were still after him. He could feel their presence, lurking somewhere in the shadows, waiting for the right moment. The golden Viking pendant he found in Sweden was more than just an artifact. It was a clue leading him to the next piece of the puzzle. His grandfather's words echoed in his mind.
The answers are hidden in the past, Leo. The Vikings left a map, but only those who understand the signs can follow it.
As he stepped off the ferry in Bergen, the rain began to pour. Leo pulled his hood up and checked his map. His next destination, the Viking Ship Museum in Oslo. After a long train ride through breathtaking landscapes, Leo arrived in Oslo. The city was a blend of modern architecture and deep-rooted history, where sleek glass buildings stood alongside ancient fortresses. His destination was clear, the Viking Ship Museum. Inside, massive Viking ships stood frozen in time, their wood darkened by centuries. Tourists roamed around, but Leo had a different mission. He maneuvered through the crowd, searching for anything that connected to the pendant he carried. Then, he saw it, a Viking shield, mounted on the wall, covered in intricate carvings. The patterns looked strangely familiar. He carefully pulled the pendant from his pocket and held it up. The symbols matched. His heart pounded. If he was right, this shield wasn't just a relic. It was part of a hidden Viking map. Before he could study it further, a voice interrupted him.
You shouldn't be here, Leo.
He spun around. A tall woman in a black coat stood nearby, one of the keepers. Leo's breath caught. He had no time to think. He opened a notebook, hurriedly sketching the shield's runes, then turned and left the museum. Leo followed the map's clues deep into Norway's fjords, where Viking legends still whispered through the wind. He took a small boat up the Sognefjord, the longest and deepest fjord in Norway, its towering cliffs casting dark shadows over the water. He checked the map. The markings indicated a remote location near a waterfall. Hours later, after a grueling hike up a rocky mountain path, Leo found himself standing before a hidden cave, half concealed behind the waterfall's roaring cascade. He stepped inside, his flashlight flickering against the damp stone walls. Ancient carvings covered the cavern, depicting long-forgotten Viking battles, gods, and symbols. Then, at the center of the cave, he saw it, a golden compass resting on a stone pedestal. With trembling hands, Leo picked it up. The second he touched it, the needle spun wildly before locking in a direction, west. A noise behind him sent a jolt of fear through his body. Footsteps. The keepers had found him. Leo stuffed the compass into his backpack and darted out of the cave. He sprinted down the mountain, his boots slipping on wet rocks as the rain lashed against him. The woman's voice called from behind.
Stop running, Leo. You don't understand what you're dealing with.
Then tell me.
Leo shouted, but he didn't slow down. She didn't answer. Instead, one of the keepers lunged at him, but Leo twisted away just in time. The chase led him to the edge of a steep cliff overlooking the raging fjord below. A dead end. Leo's only chance was a narrow stone bridge leading across the chasm. He hesitated for just a moment, then ran across it. Just as he reached the other side, he heard a cry. One of the keepers had lost his footing on the slick rocks and plummeted into the icy waters below. Leo didn't look back. He vanished into the mist, the golden compass burning in his grasp. Hours later, safe from his pursuers, Leo sat by a small campfire deep in the woods. He pulled the compass from his bag and examined it closely. It wasn't just pointing west, it was pointing to Iceland. Norway had given him the second piece of the puzzle. The Viking map was leading him somewhere, to the next great secret. But why were the keepers so desperate to stop him? What were they so afraid of? Leo clenched his fists. Whatever the answer was, he was determined to find it. 10 Most interesting facts about Norway.
The land of fjords. Norway has over 1,000 fjords created by glaciers millions of years ago. They are some of the most stunning landscapes in the world. Viking heritage. The Vikings were great explorers, traders, and warriors. Some even reached North America 500 years before Columbus. Midnight sun and polar nights. In summer, the sun never sets in parts of Norway. In winter, there's complete darkness for months. The Northern Lights. Norway is one of the best places in the world to see the aurora borealis. Troll legends. Norwegian folklore is filled with stories of giant trolls living in the mountains and forests. Some even believe they still exist. Longest road tunnel. The Lærdal Tunnel in Norway is the longest road tunnel in the world. A 24.51-kilometer-long road tunnel connects the cities of Lærdal and Åland in the Sogn og Fjordane region. The tunnel was officially opened in 2000 and features several rest areas and unique lighting to enhance the driving experience. The Doomsday Vault. Norway hosts the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, a secure storage of seeds from around the world in case of global catastrophe. Stunning roads. The Atlantic Ocean Road and Trollstigen are some of the most scenic drives on Earth. No prison escapes, no problem. Norway's prisons focus on rehabilitation, and some don't even have fences. Norway gave the UK a Christmas tree. Since 1947, Norway gifts London a huge Christmas tree as thanks for WOW 2 support.
As the northern lights flickered across the sky, he made up his mind. Iceland was next, and this time he would be ready. With the golden compass in his hands, Leo set sail for Iceland, but something told him the keepers wouldn't stop chasing him anytime soon. His adventure was only getting more dangerous. To be continued.